So I am inviting everyone to read with me silently the story of Lori. Okay? Are you ready to hear the story? Okay. So let's start. My Role Model by Bienvenido Aitan Jr. Illustrated by Jerome Hassim. Lori died when he was 27 years old. He was not a famous personality, but I write about him because he was my role model. Everything he did, I wanted to do, and I could not have chosen a better person to copy. I would follow him around like a puppy dog and try to do what he did. He used to play dominoes with his friends, and the winner would get a piece of chocolate. I would sit beside him and eat the chocolate that he won. He was popular with the ladies and had many friends, both male and female. I used to watch him skate with young ladies at Bornham Park in Baguio and wondered when I could do the same. The first time I went to Bontoc was when we were invited by Teddy Arby's. I joined the group because I was Lori's younger cousin. Lori was 4 years older than me. When I entered first year high school at Ateneo, he was first year college studying for an AP degree. He was a very brilliant student. I had a difficult time with my Latin, but he found Latin easy. In fact, when he had the time, he would do Greek and advanced calculus, which was not surprising because both his parents, Uncle Vidal Tan and Ate Teresa Yulo Tan, were mathematicians and part of the Academy of the University of the Philippines. When Lori graduated from the Ateneo, he earned a summa cum laude, but he had no airs of superiority. As a matter of fact, one could not get him to say anything bad about someone else. I remember very distinctly that if someone asked him about someone else and he could not give a favorable opinion of that person, he would not reply and just smile. When I was growing up with Lori, we were both only sons, so he was as if were my older brother. I wanted to do everything he did. I liked the way he dressed, the orderliness of his room, even his smoking a pipe, and how I envied his being able to go to the United States and still pass his exams and be promoted. Lori was prayerful and all a good person who believed in and practiced all the values and moral teachings that the Ateneo taught him. He was obedient to his parents and never caused them any trouble. I remember that when he was second year high school at the Ateneo, Uncle Vidal was sent to the United States for the further studies. He brought Ate Teresa and Lori along. The Ateneo allowed him leave from attending classes for over 10 months, provided that he took the finals when he got back from the United States, which he did and passed. Lori was a fair golfer and a good tennis player, and one of the surgeons would translate. As the war progressed, the 41st Division was moved to Bataan to await the coming of the reinforcements from the United States, which never came. And so, with limited ammunition, no real equipment, and little to no food, the 41st fought the Japanese many times to stand still. But as history tells, Bataan and Corregidor finally fell, and the remnants of the 41st, together with the other Filipino and American troops, had to walk the famous Death March to Capas, Tarlac. I am told that on several occasions during the march, Lori could have escaped just like many did. But for reasons he never told me, he stayed with the troops until Capas. He was weak and sick due to malaria and very. But he made it to Capas. Then, the Japanese sought out the children of the important Filipinos to bring to Bilibid, and Lori was one of them. At Bilibid, to prove the magnanimity of the Japanese imperial forces, all those brought in from Capas were offered freedom, provided they signed a document that they would never again bear arms against the Japanese. All same has no moral or legal force, but Lori refused to sign. He told the Japanese that such condition was not right, and that if he had the chance, he would fight them again. Uncle Vidal and Auntie Teresa were in despair. They tried to argue with Lori, talk about agreements brought about by coercion and the principle of double effect. But Lori was adamant. He would just not sign. He said it was the true and against his conscience. So, he was sentenced to be shot. Then, as fate would have it, Mr. Inamura, who was connected with the Japanese army, intervened and told Lori's custodians, "Are you crazy? Here is a man who is telling me the truth, and you want to shoot him? Do you believe that all the rest who signed mean it?" Seeing the logic of Mr. Inamura, Lori's custodians released him. Finally, the burdens of Bataan caught up with Lori, and he suffered a heart attack and died. I was the only one with him when he died, and while I did not cry because of his death, I miss him up to today. I wish I had him around to share my joys, my problems. I wish he was still around for me to copy all his good work and manners. So that's the story of my role model. So now, did you like the story? Yes. Did you find the story interesting? Yes. Yes,